Good evening, good evening, good evening, folks. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We are going back to that horrible world known as the JRC, but before we do the usual disclaimers, if you're unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, you're going to find all the pertinent links right there in the description box. Please, in particular, take note of the articles written by NeuroClastic, a small non for profit started by Autistics for Autistics. In it, they interviewed over 800 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so called behavior modification program. The Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read that article so much. They threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic refused, so you know the drill. Please read the article, share on all your social media. Also included is NeuroClastic's public statement in regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding just in case the JRC ever actually does see through with their threat. Trigger warning one when we discuss places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys. You're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please make sure to use the headphones. Trigger warning two, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity on occasion and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they are watching this, very obviously parental supervision is very much advised. All right, where we left off. Further, drugs that have not been approved for treatment of SIB and AB and thus have not been found to be safe and effective for this use may nonetheless be part of the state of the art treatment for SIB or AB, which has a specific meaning in the context of a device ban. In other words, this is what we're talking about, those comorbid diagnoses, folks. Why might that be part of an overall treatment program? Because the treatment program is supposed to be catered around entirely the patient, not the diagnosis. The reason why is you have more than one diagnosis going on at the same time more often than not. You may need that medication to assist in handling another diagnosis so that that diagnosis does not in turn trigger the other one. Okay? That is why it can be part of an overall treatment program and why you can't have a good treatment program worth its salt if it's not catered to and specifically for the patient at hand. Right? Because there is no cookie cutter, especially not if you're treating neurodivergence. All right? As we explained in the preamble to the proposed rule and maintain now, the state of the art with respect to this proposed rule is the state current technical and scientific knowledge and medical practice with regard to the treatment of patients exhibiting self injurious or aggressive behavior. I'm going to roll it back a little bit. I have comorbid diagnoses. These diagnoses have cross traits similar to one another. An example would be self injurious behavior. It could be due to the autism and I'm overwhelmed, and it could be a meltdown. It could be due to the anxiety. I'm having a panic attack and I may grip my arms without even necessarily realizing what I'm doing. It might be self injurious behavior or aggressive behavior when I fall into fight or flight because of PTSD. It may not necessarily specifically have to do with autism. Because, kids, not everything is about the goddamn autism 24/7. Okay? For the love of God. All right? Those other diagnoses that I mentioned might be the things that are triggering the behavior that then comes out of me through the lens of my autistic ass, all right? The way that it may affect me comes out and affects the autism because there are two diagnoses living inside me all at the same time. And I've told you how the PTSD feeds the autism and the autism feeds the PTSD, and it's all a big circle of suck and not the fun kind, right? Yeah, exactly that. So you may introduce a medicine in that particular type of situation to help assist in regards to another diagnosis that may be a part of triggering the very behavior that disturbs the neurotypical so badly. This should make all the sense on planet Earth, but apparently in 2024, here we still are. Elsewhere in its comments, the commenter recognizes that the state of the art treatment for this patient population can include pharmacotherapy, among other options, and asserts that a wide range of pharmacological interventions have been used to treat patients with SIB and AB, including mood stabilizers, antidepressants, and antipsychotics. All these medications, by the way, are not alien to those of us who do suffer from anxiety and PTSD, as well as other mental health issues that might be comorbid conditions, right? Say my PTSD. I had a flashback from one of the most horrific moments of my life. That flashback overwhelms me with emotions I've pushed back and pushed back and pushed back now over several decades. Now they're all coming out at once. That leads to a state of emotionally being completely and utterly overwhelmed. What does an autistic tend to do when we are overwhelmed to the point that our diagnoses overrides our otherwise usually analytical and logical side? Right? Exactly. That's where these medicines that are not particularly targeting the SIB and AB directly can still help and be a part of an overall larger treatment program. It should go without saying, but here we are again. All right. It's not that hard to understand that there are medications you may need to take for your other comorbid diagnoses because those comorbid diagnoses can be what's triggering the behavior that is coming out of our autistic selves, right? Exactly. Now, I know this particular video is going to be relatively short, but I'm tired and have to manage to stay up till 11:30. So we're going to go ahead and close out, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel, and the few we do tend to get removed from time to time. Please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe. Please don't forget to utilize those comments. I appreciate your time, folks. As always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. I'll see you all Tuesday. Bye bye, everyone.